Welcome. Now, I've got a question for you. Did you know that your business is your teacher? Because most people think they build a business just to help their clients or even earn money. Yes, that is a major aspect of the business. There's another layer though that a lot of people don't even bother talking about. Because your business will show you things about yourself that you wouldn't notice anywhere else. It brings up patterns, reactions, fears, habits, and even strengths. Sometimes all of this can be uncomfortable. Sometimes it's frustrating, yet it's never random. It's never random. Now, this episode is about seeing those moments differently, not as problems, but as things that are showing you what needs attention. Now, your business will bring up something. It's going to show you something. Because when something keeps feeling hard, it's worth pausing instead of pushing through it. It usually points to something that needs to change. Now, I just had this happen right now where I thought I recorded this episode and I didn't. I was pushing through. I wanted to record. Guess what? It didn't happen. My business is telling me to slow down, to ground, because I rushed home from a haircut. Now, it was a student haircut. It was great. Unfortunately for me, it took too long, which meant that I was walking home when it was nearly dark. Now, I'm a single woman. I don't want to be walking home when it's nearly dark. I don't want to be doing any of that. It's not right. It's not something I want to be doing. So, I had to step in and ask the teacher to take over. Now, she wasn't happy. And I just said, I need to walk home. Like I'd already been there like nearly an hour and a half. And I said, I've got to walk home alone. It's going to take me 30 minutes. It means it will be dark. I need this haircut done. Now, they understood. They understood to a point. I don't think they were happy that I pushed back. I needed to, though. It was my safety. And that's why this episode didn't get recorded when I thought it did. It was me not being grounded. And right now, even though I had a beautiful shower, because when you have a haircut, you've got to have a shower to get rid of the hair, otherwise it itches like crazy. Showers are grounding for me. I still rush through that though. I've been rushing, rushing, rushing. And my business was talking to me. As I said, this episode is your business, is your biggest teacher. It was telling me to ground. And that's what I'm doing right now. My feet are on the floor and I'm visualizing my whole body turning into a trunk. The roots are going right down, and Mother Earth is going, thank you for listening. Because Mother Earth was telling me as well. And this is why, if the same problems keep showing up, it's nothing to do with bad luck. It's nothing at all. There's no such thing as bad luck. These things are repeating for a reason, and it's time to listen. What feels stressful or heavy in your business often connects to how things are set up. What's your foundations like? What is your personal life like as well? Because even though I talk about your business being its own separate entity, you run the business with your business's entity, of course. You run it though. So what's happening in your personal life can affect you. Look at me, rushed home, wasn't grounded, thought I recorded this episode and I didn't. That was my personal life interfering with the business. This is what I'm talking about. And that is why your business has a way of showing you what's not working before you're actually ready to see it. Now, I'm really in tune with everything. I've been re-psychic since I was 17. And so I'm extremely, everything's really open. And yet I didn't listen to my business. That's why once you start noticing all of this, the next question becomes, how do you not get thrown off by it when it shows up? Now, I didn't get thrown off by it. I just went, well, I swore. I did swear. Yet all I did was go, okay, let's just record again. Well, actually record it the first time. Let's just record it. And that is why I noticed what was happening. So, because it didn't record, I noticed I wasn't grounded. I wasn't fully in my body. My energy was still rushing to catch up to me. This is why I go on and on about take notice of what's happening in your body, take notice of your energy, listen to your intuition. And remember, the uncomfortable moments that come up aren't something to panic about. I could have panicked about this episode not recording the first time. I didn't. As I said, I swore and then I went, okay, what's going on? I listened. Remember that when something doesn't go to plan, it doesn't always mean something's wrong. There wasn't something wrong with me. It was just me. I needed to listen. It was something being pointed out where something needed to shift. I needed to shift my awareness. And I don't want you to treat every challenge like a failure because there is no such thing as a failure. Some of these challenges are just a part of figuring things out in your business. The moments you want to avoid are often the ones that actually help you see things more clearly. Remember, you can't avoid everything forever. It will come back. It will keep coming back until you see it and you recognize it and you talk to it. And remember, as you raise your vibration, it will come back again to see how you actually cope with what comes up. And because you've raised your vibration, that means you're responding in different ways, which means when it comes up again, you're not likely to react. You're more likely to be fully aware and you notice things a lot quicker. Not everything that feels uncomfortable is a sign to stop. It's just information. Everything is information. Your thoughts are information, patterns, beliefs, what's going on in your business. Everything is information. Your body is information, all of it. Now, once you stop reacting to everything as a problem, you can start paying attention to how you actually respond in those moments. And let me talk about the difference between reaction and response. Now, as I've said, I was walking home and it was getting dark. I had situational awareness, even with my ear pods or whatever the ear things in, listening to music. I still had situational awareness because I knew that I could need to react in the moment. Now, for me, reaction is more of an emergency thing. Response is a where you're calm, you're working from the heart, you can think clearly, you're aware. That's response. Reaction, you need the adrenaline. Response, you don't. I want you to know that how you respond in your business matters just as much as what is actually happening. You're going to start to notice how you react when things get busy, when things don't go to plan, or when things feel uncertain. You can see where you rush, where you overthink, and where you take on too much at once. I did that as well. There was a time where I just took on so much, and it didn't feel like my business was being an actual business. It just felt like I was just doing things, and I had to be aware of that. You're also going to start noticing where you ignore your own limits just to keep things moving. And this is where it stops being about what your business is doing and starts being about how you're moving inside of it. When you start seeing that clearly, the next step is knowing what to actually do with all of this. Now, what do you do when these things happen, when challenges happen, when you see the repeat patterns? Well, one of the first things I love to do, me personally, is I pause before doing anything. Now, as I said, I don't react because reaction is an emergency thing for me. Pause, even if it's just for a moment. What I love to do is I love to take 3 really deep breaths and I do something called box breathing. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Now you can also do things differently. You might want to breathe in for 7, hold for maybe a couple, breathe out for 7, hold for a couple. It doesn't matter. You can even do whatever feels right. The reason that breathing is so important is that when challenge comes up, we might get anxiety or something. What happens in our body is our heart can beat faster, which means we need more oxygen. Yet when breathing faster, we're not getting more oxygen. People think, yeah, I'm breathing, I'm breathing. What you want to do is remember the lungs at the bottom have these, throughout the whole thing, lungs have alveoli. Now, at the bottom of the lungs is this blood vessel. Now, the oxygen needs to go through the lungs to the bottom and go through into that blood vessel. When you are breathing fast, you are breathing shallow, which means only a little bit of oxygen gets into that bloodstream. That's why breathing deeply is so important. And also breathing out all the air possible. People think, oh, yeah, I'm going to breathe in and I'll breathe out. And they don't breathe out as much as you're meant to because you want it. The lung it's like an accordion. You want it to do its work, so it squeezes that oxygen. It's really important. That's why the pausing and the breathing, I really feel, is important. You don't have to respond straight away. I've got there's certain times I work with clients, and if they email me or DM me or whatever it is, I'm not going to respond straight away because I'm not actually looking at my emails or my DMs or something every second of the day. I like to look at them a couple of times a day. Now, I'm studying three days a week. That means I'm looking at that a lot less. And I've got it there that I say I will respond within 3 working business days. That's a limit, that's a boundary that I have. And it's something that I want you to be aware of. Maybe it's something you need to do as well. Let your clients know when you will respond to them. And if they start emailing you 20 a day, wait. And when you respond back, you go, thank you for your emails. Just be aware that 20 emails isn't needed. Like set boundaries. And write down what keeps repeating so you can see it clearly instead of carrying it around in your head. The more that you get out, the less that your brain overthinks and overworks. It loves things to be out of it. It loves to have a lot more space. And you can ask yourself, is what is happening a one-off or is it something that I keep doing? If it's something you keep doing, then maybe it's something that really, really needs looking at. And instead of trying to sort everything out at once, make one small change. Again, if you try and sort everything out at once, you're going to rush through things. And things are not going to be right the way they are. Of course, there's that perfectionism that can happen, and you don't want that either. Remember, you don't need to solve everything in the moment. You just need to notice it and adjust one step at a time. Your business isn't something you manage. It reflects yourself back to you, not in a harsh way, but in a clear way. It shows you what's working, what isn't, and where things need to shift. When you stop fighting those moments and actually start paying attention to them, things begin to change in a steady way. You will stop seeing problems as setbacks and start seeing them as information. Remember, everything is information. And that is when everything changes in your business. Thank you so much for watching, listening, reacting, sharing, commenting. All of that really helps me as a small business owner. Wishing you a beautiful day wherever you are in this gorgeous world.